Dan Sampson,
How are you?
how about a drink?
Maybe two.
Let's do it. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
What's your favorite gallery beverage?
It's got to be an IPA.
IPA.
Usually one in each hand.
Would you look at that? Let's do this
How'd
thing.
you know?
Thanks for hanging out today, man.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah. I'm going to join you.
I think I can handle that.
All right, second question. Most important, maybe, for a small Colorado Springs convo. First, cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
First question. Townie or transplant?
Townie from way back.
Yeah?
Spent most of my life downtown. Yeah.
Yeah? Are you born and raised?
Born and raised. Yep.
Never
High
left?
school at Palmer. Left for about a couple years total throughout it, but spent a little over a year in New York and Queens. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
And Palmer.
And Palmer High School. Yep.
So there's a like historic art
A nice
story
deep
at,
root. Yeah.
at Palmer.
Yes.
Like a hometown hero. Did
Very
you
much
have
so.
the hometown hero as a
He's my hero as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
Floyd
sure.
Tunson.
Yeah, Mr. Floyd Tunson. Yeah,
That's
the
awesome.
ruler of them all. Yeah.
Yes.
The ultimate inspirer.
He has inspired and produced many artists here in town.
I'm thankful to be trying to be one of them. Yeah.
You're doing it, man. You were doing it. When did art find you, and when did you start pursuing it?
Art found me pretty early. As a kid and everything, even in elementary school, I fell in love with a lot of the competitions that we do, and in junior high and high school and things like that. A particular one was reflections, and I used to win awards at that, and that got you jazzed to do it. But really was seeing the improvement in myself. Then through high school, of course, Floyd helped just grew that passion for me like crazy. So out of high school, I got accepted to Parsons School of Design, ran up to New York to go there. Things don't always work out how you plan, so hung out, had a 23-year career in paint and coatings, and then found this again in about 2021. So really passionately and heavy since about 2021.
What did that look like in 21?
It looked like me alone, a lot, in my basement with whatever I could find and learn. And it looked like set a goal, how do I get there, and then teach yourself. And then challenge yourself. I was always pushing. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. And then once I found the niche and where I like to be, now that's where we are.
Yeah, that's awesome. So not a whole long time that you've been like really pursuing.
I would say, the last few years are definitely the most intense at it, but the reward is really nice.
It's a very similar story. Many
Absolutely.
artists.
And the whole time alone, wishing, we all have that, you're alone in your head. Okay, this is going to happen. I can do it. I know somebody's going to connect with her, or whatever your dream is. We all still have, I was surprised as I enter the community and grow in it, just how similar, man, we all have really similar stories.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, that rejection from the corporate world. Huge fan of
that. Listen, every artist has a style, a medium, direction. How would you describe your voice as an artist? Start with your medium and style, and then what are you trying to say? What is your voice?
So medium and style, I don't have, like I said, I don't have a formal education, so I don't know how to properly put it in a category, but closest is probably contemporary pop surrealism as kind of the overarching thing. It's acrylic on canvas and some other things, pens, paint pens, things like that, but mostly just stuff that goes well with water because it's very, very thin layers and things like that. So that's kind of my style. I'm trying to, what it's come to be is that they're little stories and little snippets and photographs from everyday life, not necessarily mine, but things we all kind of know and understand that I can put maybe complex ideas or situations through to kind of make you go, well, yeah, that's not nice, but it's a little easier to swallow that way. So kind of this macabre, absurd humor, but it's definitely a story. It's definitely a reach out. It's definitely a, hey, have you noticed that sometimes we feel like this? And what I'm finding, the thing that's encouraging that, yeah, I'm not the only one. There's lots of people that do. So it's the best way to connect with people. And that's what I'm trying to do. And it just happens to be that works its way through storytelling with fun stuff.
You're doing a great job,
Thank you.
and your
Thanks.
stories connect and resonate,
Thanks.
and it's fascinating to watch
I
people
appreciate it.
be drawn to the visual and be captured by the story, and it's interesting because I think a lot of times I think you know art is storytelling, and every artist has something to say and
Sure.
everything,
Hmm.
but I do think that sometimes artists try to force that,
Okay. Yeah.
you know, and you do have a very natural, like this is Dan, you know,
Yeah.
it's it's very unique, and it's
Thanks.
not forced. It feels very natural.
I'd like to take full credit for the kind of natural and unique thing about it, for that I really thought this was the way it was going to go. But that's a direct result of teaching myself and pushing and going. So this is all accumulation of probably lots of wrong ways to go about
Sure.
it
Yeah.
classically. But the result is what I wanted. And then it's still even today improving. And how else can I connect? And how else can I massage this? And how else can I look at other people and look at myself and go, wait a minute, oh, I see you now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then, these are they're all mirrors, really.
Yeah.
And I hope they are anyway. Yeah.
They are, and it's great. And it's, I mean, even in the short time that I've known you, we're on year 2 now together.
We
And
are.
yeah, watching you grow in that short time, and I mean, all artists are, we feel like imposters, and
All the time. Yeah.
and that's always a sign of a true artist when
Yeah.
they're him hawing and, oh, I don't know if I really am, and
Yeah.
that's how we met. You came in,
100%.
you're
Yeah.
like, oh,
I told my wife not to say anything. I said, no, do not say anything.
but I can
Yeah.
see it. I
Yeah.
can smell it, man. And so, anyways, just seeing some confidence grow, not cockiness, arrogance, but confidence.
Sure.
Has been really a joy to watch.
Well, and I'm hooked on it now.
Good.
That I want to grow and learn, meet more people and all the time. And so that's a big speed bump to have come over.
Yeah.
And I owe a lot of that to you. Thank you.
Thanks for being part of this, man. What and or who inspires you as an artist?
We already kind of touched on it, but people,
Yep.
people, stories. I spend an inordinate amount of time on self-reflection and introspection, and so instead of diving completely into that, those become sometimes nuggets now where I look at everybody around me and go, okay, where do I see this? And I go, oh, I'm not alone. And now, so that's a lot of my inspiration. And
Yeah.
then bridging that gap, because they're not always fun things. Some are kind of more lighthearted, but some are pretty difficult.
Yeah.
And so then it becomes, now this is a fun thing to look at, and it's kind of bright and colorful because now it's a palatable way for me to compartmentalize and deal with whatever that story or whatever that emotion, whatever that thing is.
Mhm.
I understand it this way. It doesn't have to be perfect. I don't need to be right or wrong about it. But this is a story that kind of means that and now you can pocket that, and it's way easier to index that feeling and kind of move on after that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think, tying those things together too, people are fascinated when, I'll have an idea for painting and this is kind of what it means to me or whatever, or I'm capturing this moment. And then you talk to Sir Sampson and it's like, oh yeah, this is the story. And this story has a backstory. And if you dig deeper into that backstory, it actually is tied to this story. And all of these paintings are actually, telling this one unified big story. And
There are webs, yes, webs and webs and webs for sure. Yeah, it's a little maddening sometimes, and it's not. I am very lucky to have an overactive imagination, and it will go quickly 100 miles an hour and let it go. But that's where I spend a lot of. I particularly put time away for walks, for thinking, to get all this stuff out, and it doesn't always make it on paper. But at least it's been rehearsed somewhere, so it doesn't get so frustrating. But everything we talked, I think, had a brief conversation the other day. The cool thing about stories is you can plot all the points. The justifications are up to you.
Yeah.
Work it out. The more imaginative you are, the crazier it's going to be, but you'll get there.
Well, I don't think that works for everybody.
No?
I mean, as an artist and friend, someone that's also on the outside looking in, I mean, I have a slew of friends that whether they're an artist or entrepreneur, I'm like, I don't want to hear another idea. Just, can you, I mean,
Sure.
just do this one. Can you
Yeah,
finish this one?
sure.
You know, and you're not someone that I would ever say slow down or stop having
Well,
ideas,
thank you.
because they land and they connect, and you know, and I'll see you work on. I mean, you're working on one painting right now, and you have 12 other drawings up there
Oh
that
yeah.
tie into that one painting, but it's part of, like,
I've got a couple models for that one
yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
fascinating. And again, I don't think that works for everybody, but it works for you,
I,
and it works really well.
yeah, I guess I'm glad for that.
How does art affect other parts of your life?
uh, art, I think, affects every other part of my life.
Mhm.
That sense of kind of, I don't want to use the word obsession because that kind of gets a little wonky, but obsession about teaching myself and getting this is kind of has, I've arranged my life in such a way that I've given up some pursuits of a lot of things to get time and freedom to pursue this and to think and all of that. So art has definitely affected my personal lives with my wife and family in that they get to watch me do this, and that's really cool, and they're big fans too. And so um, it really does affect everything. I would say the most surprising impact to me that art has had, especially in this pursuit, is how much it affects my real world job, the bill pay job, right? It has given me some ways and some avenues to think differently about some problems
Mhm.
and realize what's not my problem, which is an interesting way. So art can kind of have a way of, well, I'm going to creep in on this because this is not, it's actually not you. And so um, it's helped me set some boundaries in other parts of my life, which is an interesting side effect I didn't expect.
Yeah, I think uh, for an artist in this location and many others, but this is where we are. So this location, the reality, if you're going to be an artist, at some point you have to come to terms with the reality that as an artist you have to have the real job to pay for
Amen.
the dream
Yeah.
job. And
Yep.
I think so often, like, people have an unfortunate all or nothing kind of
Yep.
mentality,
Hmm.
and so it's like, oh, I can't do this. But you know, I always encourage people, like, okay, what's the big dream? Okay, if that's, you want to, you know, a big huge warehouse studio and paint all day long,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you know, having your okay, you know, that's not, and that comes true for some people.
Yeah,
There's a few of
100%.
them. But what part of that dream can you take and you can do now? You know, it doesn't have to be.
Exactly
It
right.
can be both and I'm a big fan
Yes.
of both and I think as an artist, that's the reality that we have to accept.
Yep.
And it doesn't mean that we won't have success or whatever, but it does mean that that's the gig. That's what you sign up
You
for.
bet.
Yeah.
You bet.
And there's plenty of other jobs that, like, okay, well, you're working this job and it's also 60, 70 hours a week.
Yeah.
You know, so if you
Yeah.
can work, you know, a real job that allows you 30 or 40 and you can still paint,
Exactly.
that's a huge
Yeah.
blessing. Yeah.
Well, and you hit the nail on the head when you look at it, and that's what we looked at is where, because I can't not work,
Mm-hmm.
right? But and I don't want to. I have a ton of support. My wife is crazy. She's the best person on the planet. You know her.
Yeah.
She's crazy. So I do get a lot of support, but that doesn't mean that I don't. You still work that job.
Yep.
So I have given up a lot of salary and a lot of
Yeah.
things, a lot of vacations, but it's so worth it.
It's worth it. Yeah.
The other side
Yeah.
of being able to do this and
Yeah.
pursue it like it was a whole nother job on top of it. It's really great. It's gratifying in a way that probably money couldn't be at the moment.
Yeah. If you're an artist and you're really an artist, then artists are just going to art.
It's kind of yeah. It's now it's never going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
It's
It's
stuck
just what
now.
it is.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. What is your most favorite and least favorite part of the creative process?
Most favorite is kind of the idea running, like
Yeah.
letting it go and see, because even sometimes it forces me to crack that wry smile and go, how did I get there? You know, but it does work. Somehow there's some sort of landing in there. So those little surprises are really cool. I do like all of the different little steps and doing the drawings and building the things, because even if they don't work out, it still forces me to come around a project in a different way.
Yeah.
And it helps with the painting at the end of it. And so that, I think, yeah, the idea part is probably my favorite part of the imagination process. Now, it's also my least favorite part, because those times when it does get overwhelming and too much, and it does, the Pandora's box opens, and then it spirals into that. Well, I'm never going to be able to do any of this if I can't
Because
get
your
this
ideas are
out right
big,
now.
and it's
Yeah,
a big ideas. You got to land the plane.
sure. And
I mean,
then
every one of your paintings could be 12. Yeah.
kind of, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, sure. And so as you go, well, where do you stop?
Yep.
When do you switch ideas? And so the kind of, this is going to sound like such a privileged thing to say, the burden of choice of what project to do, right? But there's some of that in there, and it's least favorite of a
Yeah.
creative process, so
Yeah.
it's not that serious, right?
Yeah.
It's just that, so I do like to I'll start a new painting about halfway through a one, just to have two things to tinker on, because you need that palette cleanser sometimes. So, but just figuring out the next and the next and the next. I stopped worrying about the shows and the opportunity stuff, and just and I still worry about that, but that wouldn't be the least favorite part of this now. That's a great side effect when that stuff happens. But yeah, that overflow is cumbersome sometimes, because that also dives into all other parts of my life.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, now I've got this bucket full of ideas, and work's not that important, is it? No, it is. And so to get rid of that's kind of painful, but you still, again, it all works out in the end.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, I think every artist has a back pocket full of ideas, a little satchel they're carrying around.
Yeah. It's that satchel.
But there's 1,000 things I want to paint. But what that translates to, that means there's 10,000 things that Dan Sampson wants to paint.
And maybe not right now, but once I'm there with it,
Uh-huh.
and that's just a result of being, my paintings aren't quick either. They take a long time. And so, and that's just a result of how I taught myself to do it.
Paint,
so
you use acrylic, but you paint like watercolor.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And that gives me some freedom at the end to kind of do the race to the finish. Full strength.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's good. But yeah, it's kind of, it's almost like paint by number every step. Like, okay, that's okay, but because it's so thin, I can fix it all the way up to the very end almost. And so that's that self-taught, give myself an out. Yeah, but that idea is, they're good.
Well done. What about roadblocks? What's the main roadblocks you feel as an artist you have?
I think I would have a lot more if I hadn't kind of taken a more grateful and appreciative position that I have of where I'm at with art right now.
Yeah.
So I'm not chomping at the bit to have a music, that all is really cool. But in the small term, the biggest roadblocks are probably the day-to-day things that everybody deals with, the imposter syndromes. And then there's always the times that we're with 30 other artists in here. So there's paintings in here that come in and I'm going, that's it, done, going back to work. No,
I mean, how often that statement is made here when someone knocks it out of the park, and then every artist here is like, I quit. I quit.
And that's, we're all beautifully insecure that way. And that's so cool. So I say the little things are probably the day-to-day tiny roadblocks. And then again, it's not the creative problem, but it is the how do you choose it? And that does become a roadblock, because there's lots of times where you come and you have all the best intention in the world, and next thing you know, maybe the right text comes through and it's not a now thing, but it's the right thing to get you, I'm not into this. And so, and then there comes an element of guilt sometimes to this to deal with, that, I get to sit here for hours and hours and produce these things, which I find immensely gratifying. And other people may see that as work, may not see that quite as work. So it's still that constant cultural battle of, where does art sit on the importance of work, and how does that rate to labor, and that stuff. And so there's, coming out of that corporate mindset and the kind of classic 9-to-5 mindset, you do get into the place where, man, I can't believe that I do this, and some of these are pretty significant financially now, and so that helps a lot. And so you get that kind of, I wish everybody could do this. I wish everybody could. And so just trying to be as nice as you can and as humble as you can.
We've talked about this, as we get a little older, we don't have as much steam in the tank.
Every day feels exponentially older.
The job, there's not that much
Yeah.
gas in the tank for that.
Yeah.
But you do it and everything.
Yep.
But it is a different thing, like pursuing passion, because I couldn't do an all-nighter like I used to and work 3 jobs and do that.
Yeah.
But I can do a couple all-nighters painting.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's glorious.
Yeah,
it's the
glorious.
best 48 hours to stay
Yeah.
up ever. Yeah.
Okay. We'll wrap this up.
Okay.
So you can turn your attention to our audience and let people know who you are, where they can find you, how they can follow you.
Which one? Doesn't matter.
Big one, little one.
You can find me at Dynamite Studios on Instagram. That's the best place. Or here at the Lookup Gallery. I'm here a lot. Almost every day they're here. 12 to 7, every day except Tuesday, Wednesday.
Cheers. Love you, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Before was so good because we were just laughing. And
I know,
now we have
now
to
it's-
fake it. Yeah. Okay, are we good?